In this demo, we're going to show how you can use Turbot Guardrails to continuously comply to CIS recommendations for Azure. In a prior video, we showed how you can install the Azure CIS mod within Guardrails to continuously assess your resources when they're created, they're updated, or deleted. Guardrails will assess whether or not it's adhering to CIS recommendations and can send alerts to your team, or you can visualize this in the console. In this video, we're going to focus on how you can use Guardrails to also remediate the fix. So not just alerting on what's wrong, but also correcting the misconfiguration, essentially to get your CIS report to be green at all times. And so just to take one example here, we have the CIS section 3 of storage accounts. And if I just focus on one particular recommendation to ensure minimum TLS is set to version 1.2, all of my storage accounts are not adhering to this policy at the moment. I can get those alerts and ship those to my team to have folks fix it, but you can use Guardrails to auto-remediate in real time as well. And so to do that, you can set the accompanying policy here for Azure storage accounts minimum TLS versions. Right now I'm skipping this policy, but I can choose to enforce, and specifically the TLS 1.2 configuration. And I'm going to apply that to my Acme organization, which is going to then inherit to all those storage accounts and then configure those storage accounts with this configuration. And so now that I have this in force across my Acme organization, I can go back to my Azure CIS control, and then we can visualize that all of these will then move to green. These storage accounts within my environment, in real time, if I go and I look, already version 1.2 is now set. And similarly for my other Azure storage accounts. So Guardrails takes the action immediately. And then going back to the controls here, if I just refresh the screen, now we could see all of the resources are now in a green state. So all of these are now meeting the CIS policy for section 3.15. Now, you can also use Guardrails to do a whole suite of configuration management across your entire section. And as an example, Guardrails has policy packs that you can assign, then attach to your folder structures or your resources to apply a suite of policies. Here are some examples of these smart folders and policy packs that are fit for each section of the CIS report. So if we were to focus on another section, so section 9 here for app services, there's a collection of policies. So one very similar to the storage account example, there's a minimum TLS version that we can enforce. There's other configuration on app services, web plans that we can enforce as well. And this is going to help you with satisfying the grouping of controls for section 9 of that CIS report. For application services, there's a suite of recommendations, and there's a number of app services that I have that aren't meeting the collective policy. So some are in green, some are in a red state. And so using this policy pack, I can attach this to my Acme folder, which is then going to apply to all of my storage accounts in scope. And so here, these policies are now applied to my Acme organization. And similarly, like we saw for storage accounts, now this is going to apply to all of the existing resources. And so now we should start seeing these numbers come down to green. So we head over to the controls. And so I'll refresh the screen and we could start seeing that go through. And great, now we have all of the controls and recommendations are now in a green state. Just by applying that policy pack, we're fully meeting section 9 of the CIS recommendations instantly across our Azure subscriptions. Now, there's so much more that you can do with Turbot Guardrails to not only comply with CIS recommendation, but a whole suite of security and FinOps control objectives. If you're interested in getting started or learning more, please reach out to us at turbot.com/start.